Trinidad and Tobago, I'm going to have to ask for your help this morning. I need each one of you, of the 300,000 swing voters, independent and critical thinkers, to please share this video and create public awareness for what I'm about to tell you. The procurement bill and the amendments to the procurement bill has been passed in Parliament. What that means is that any government-to-government deal or transaction falls outside of the scope of accountability and transparency, which means that if the PNM wants to engage in any business relations with the government of Venezuela, the narco state of Venezuela, there is no oversight on that deal or engagement with the Venezuelan government. Do you understand what the ramifications are for such a lack of oversight between a country like Venezuela with Trinidad and Tobago? Secondly, there is no oversight on government-to-private partnerships. So if the government decides to give all of your taxpayers' money to one of their financiers for a drummed-up contract, they are not accountable to you and they do not have to provide transparency. And how that passed in the Parliament, contrary to my belief, is not because the opposition did not fight it. In fact, Rudal Munilal and Kamla Persad-Bissessar put up quite a struggle against these amendments. Faris Al-Wari, the same Attorney General who is on record telling you that your rights can be removed during a pandemic, and who is reading a letter from the Integrity Commission, that brown-nose entity, that he was cleared of any wrongdoing because of those state rental contracts. That same Faris Al-Wari removed the constitutional requirements for the 3/5 majority for this bill and made it a simple majority so that they may pass this bill in Parliament without a struggle. Why did he remove the 3/5 majority? And why is it so important that those two clauses from that procurement bill be removed? Government-to-government accountability and transparency, and government-to-private accountability and transparency. Isn't the whole essence of this bill to protect the taxpayers' money and to provide transparency and accountability? So why put those two clauses in place? Why remove those two clauses in the first place? That's one. And secondly, Trinidad and Tobago, the reason why I'm asking you to share this far and wide is because on Tuesday, this bill is coming before the Senate. We cannot trust Christine Kangaloo to make the right decision if this comes down to a tie. We cannot. Because in my opinion, she is heavily biased towards the PNM. That besides the fact, you have, let me tell you, independent senators in this Senate. The burden of the protection of the taxpayers' funds and to preserve accountability in office lies on the shoulders now of the independent senators in the Senate on Tuesday. You have Dr. Varma Dayal Singh, known independent. He neither supports the UNC or the PNM in his decision-making process. Very independent. Amrita Dheernarayan, same thing. Charis C. Persad, same thing. Derup Timal, same thing. Paul Richards leans on the side of the PNM. So we will be keeping an eye on Paul Richards and see how Paul Richards vote. Because let me tell you, any senator who votes for those two clauses to be removed from this bill cannot be seeking the well-being of the taxpayers' funds of this country. No right-thinking senator is going to approve this change because they know that it removes accountability and transparency for the government for taxpayers' money. Anthony Vieira, same thing. Leans on the side of the PNM. We will be paying attention. Then we have Evans Welch, Maria Dillon Remy, Hazel Thomas Ai, claim to be independent senators, but they are pro-PNM, pro PNM, and especially that Thompson IE, likes to debate in the Senate and pretend to be independent, but they are not independent. Trinidad and Tobago, pay attention to the Senate on Tuesday next week. And you see these three senators, Evans Welch, Maria Dillon Remy, and Hazel Thomas IE, they are pro-PNM. Watch what they do on Tuesday. The independent senators of Trinidad and Tobago, you are tasked with the responsibility of protecting the taxpayers' money. You are tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that legislation that gets passed in the benefit of the people of Trinidad and Tobago and not the political party that you support. Trinidad and Tobago, I need you to put the pressure on the government. Make sure you put the pressure on these senators to do the right thing by the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We have one more chance, Trinidad and Tobago, one more chance to make sure that the government, the PNM, Keith Rowley, Stuart Young, and Faris Alwari do not remove, and call Mimbird, that parasite, do not remove accountability and transparency when it comes to your money. Your very standard of living, quality of life depends on the senators, the independent senators, doing the right thing on Tuesday. I am asking you, Trinidad and Tobago, to do your part. It takes nothing to share this video and to spread the information so that the people is well informed. I am depending on those of you who want change for this country to do the right thing, just like I'm depending on the Senate to do the right thing on Tuesday.